Then we had a little period there with no doobies, and it was really a bummer. And all of a sudden, they did the farewell tour in '87. I was fortunate enough to go to the first show in San Diego, and awesome time. And it was just sit back and wait. And then in '88, there were rumors that they were putting out another album, and then in 1989, they put out the Cycles album. And what an album it is. Great album, they put that out. And then in England, they put out a 12-inch vinyl with the Doctor on one side, Too High a Price, and Anything for Love on the back side. And I've also been able to pick up, they put out, instead of like us old timers, we used to go down and buy a 45. Well, they don't have those out anymore, but they put out single cassettes. So I picked one of these up, it's still sealed, and then naturally on cassette and 8-track. And also there were some radio station promos off this album that I picked up. Doctor, One Chain, and Need a Little Taste of Love. So those are kind of neat. Then we went from there to the Brotherhood album. And I didn't know for the longest time that this was released on vinyl. This has a Made in England sticker on it. And I picked that up. This one cost me about 25 bucks when I bought that, but I wanted it. And this is just a little flat from that album, like they would staple up in the record stores and whatnot. And it's not anything at all like the cover, but it's a neat looking picture nonetheless. On the Brotherhood album, they did a song called Dangerous, which you've heard. Dangerous was put out, this is a radio station promo that Pat signed. And Dangerous was also used on the movie Stone Cold. Now this is a real hard to find video. It took Terry 2 years to find this, but a lot of video rental stores have this. It's a killer movie, biker movie with a lot of action, and they used Dangerous for that. There's a cassette. They also had, there was radio station promos for that. Let's see, I showed you the wrong one. Rolling On, Dangerous, and Something You Said, so I picked those up. And another little odd thing that I picked up was a 3-inch Japanese CD. This is the only one that I know of that's on a 3-inch size. And this was, it says on here, Levi's, so I don't know much about this, where they're given out to people at a show, or if Levi's sponsored a show, or anything other than that.
So that's not pamphlet with it, it's just...
Actually, what it's got, it's pretty neat. It's got a little, if you take it out of the case, I've kept it mint, but it folds up like a little display type thing. And I've never done that because it would destroy the originality of it. But kind of a neat little thing.
And that's Japanese?
And that's Japanese, yeah. I also have a 45 with the same double-headed snake on it, and that was released in Germany. I've got one of those on display back in the room there with all my...
Do you know anything about it? Yeah, ask. Do you know anything about the Japanese thing? What is his name? I can't remember his name.
These are some things that I found in Gold Mine. I call it my what in a read. The Doobie Brothers put a long strained trip.
That's a bootleg.
That's a bootleg? Okay, similar to the one I showed earlier? Okay, and then, you know anything about this? Kate Bush, Doobie Brothers, Babushka? We talked about that?
No, we talked about Memphis.
I want to know about Santa Barbara.
Memphis 75.
Okay, long strained trip, and that's on vinyl?
Yes, I'm on.
Okay, that's Memphis 75. Was that similar, Laura, to, I've already gone through this. Is it similar to this?
Yeah, Budokan Brewhouse.
Same thing? Same thing. Memphis 1975 on vinyl. And answered that. Okay, because I've got...
So there might be a compilation of third songs and ours on there, if that's what it is.
Let's see if I can put it in.
That still doesn't have anything to do with Santa Barbara, right?
No.
Okay, because I want to know about Santa Barbara. I don't know if we...
We should take your questions and answer, or and then answer them for you. Fine.
My 5th year. I'm a guitar builder. I live in Phoenix, Arizona. I've known Pat for about 10 years, 10 or 11 years. I went on the road with him 5 years ago, just on a whim, and I'm still doing it 5 years later. So here I am. I'm not on the road with the doobies. I teach at a guitar building school in Phoenix, Arizona. Roberto Van Guitar Building School. So when I'm not on the road with the doobies, I go home and I build guitars, and I teach people how to build guitars. And it's a lot of fun, you know. So I'm lucky I get to do 2 things I like. So I'm a lucky guy. A couple of good jobs. This is one of the guitars I made here. I made this with Pat. This is his #1 Strat now. He plays this most of the night. Pat moved to Hawaii a couple of years ago, and on the top of this wood is Hawaiian koa. This only grows on 2 islands in the world, on the Big Island of Hawaii and also on Maui. So this is a real nice piece of koa. Pat's got koa fever now because he lives on a couple years ago. And a couple things about this guitar where it sounds a little better than what he was playing before. If you know anything about Fenders, that most of them have a bolt-on neck. This has a set neck, a Gibson style set neck. Okay, it's got a bird's eye maple neck. Spanish cedar back on it. It's worn out a little bit. He's only had this 3 months and he's getting some belt buckle wear here.
What do you mean by set? It's not bolted.
It's a set neck.
It's been glued on?
It's glued in, similar to a Gibson Les Paul neck joints. They call it a set neck.
Okay.
And the headstock's a little bit different. It angles back. Compared to Fender headstock is flat. This angles back more like a Gibson. And I've got my logo here, the Flying V eyeball is my logo. But I don't build a lot of guitars. I built one for Steve Miller. He's the only other famous guy that has one right now, Steve Miller. And, something like this will probably go for about $3,500. Mainly because the koa top's hard to find. Any questions about this guitar? Okay, he doesn't use that one. He just cranks that one wide open. So I just bypass that tone. And he's always been the most common questions I get. People ask me, how come he has so many guitars over there? Because he's got 8 guitars out in the rack, and the answer is he's got different tunings. Some of these, there's a red one. It's tuned up to full pitch. On Dangerous, it's on the guitar stand out front. And that's tuned up to standard pitch, you know, E, A, D, G, B, E, low to high, standard pitch. And on this one, it's a drop D. Both E's are down to D, which he uses on Blackwater. And Soquel, I changed this string down to G, so it's an open G tuning, he calls it, where I got two D's with a G instead of an A. Okay, then on Rainy Day, and they have a whole other tuning on that, where this goes down to an A and this goes down to an F sharp. I can write these down.